Okay, how did I exit the rat race? So today I'm going to tell you how I did it, and then I'm also going to tell you, in the frame of the story, how you could do it as well. So let's get into it. So the first big realization for me when I had graduated through university, paid my way through, worked my ass off, was working like 2 jobs and had a business. And then I started my clothing company and went on the road with it and built the strategy and spent probably like 5 years really just 110% dedicated to building that business. I mean, it was a lot of fun too, so I enjoyed it, and it was my dream business. And I got to the point where the business had shifted so much, and I started to become angry, I started to become upset, and I was realizing that my happiness level, my levels of satisfaction in my life were getting lower and lower. And then by then I was married, I had a child on the way, and the big realization came, and it wasn't like exactly at once, but when I looked around and, what I wanted out of the company was adventure and freedom and travel and to make enough money to survive and to do what I love to do. And then when I looked around and I was, in an office that had no windows, didn't notice that, and that I was constantly just doing paperwork, and everything became about money, and I was being taken away from the design process, which I really, really liked. And I was just acquiring stuff, houses and cottages and cars and vacations. And I just realized that my level of satisfaction with that part of life just kept getting lower and lower. I looked around at my friends, I looked around at the people I was around, and I was like, I don't like this at all. So what happened to me, and this is something that you may come to, is I started to get a mindset shift. And I started to go, this is all bullshit. I don't need all this. This is all just assets and managing crap and managing money. And this is not the real reason that I got into doing a business. I mean, money is part of the business, of course. It's not going to survive without money. But it became about growth and about making more money and expansion, and less about the enjoyable parts of making a great product and the design process and the people and doing good quality and everything around, like really doing something which I originally got into, of like giving people that wow, like making them really appreciate and giving them value in every part of what we were doing. And then also me enjoying that part of that process, and also me interacting with people and selling to them at events and festivals and stuff like that. That part of it really was, I didn't realize until later, but that was a big part of what I loved about the business. But at that point, I didn't know that and didn't realize that. But what happened was my mindset started to shift. And that's the key thing, is that I looked around and I was like, I don't need all this stuff. It just adds to the management and the crap in my life that I don't want. And it distracts me from the really good things in life. And so I would say if you're listening to this and you're like, how do I get out of the rat race? It's, okay, what is your mindset? And what is the satisfaction? What are the things you really value in your life? And once you start to look at those, you're going to find pretty quickly that they're not about money. And so that's the first big indicator that made me go, whoa, wait a minute. I see the future and I don't like it, and I don't want this. And it's not about the money. The next thing I started doing was, and I was young and I did it in a very, destructive way. I just basically sabotaged and destroyed everything and shut my company down and got divorced and moved away, and really destroyed it all. But I think that, looking back on it, and if I had to advise someone, I would say, reduce your debt. reduce your expenses, reduce your overhead, reduce the amount of things that you have to organize if you don't like doing those things. Reduce the growth mindset, the growth without anything except just getting more money. Know where once you know, like in that mindset shift part, once you know where your values are and what you really, really like, then reduce the crap that is around you. And even if you don't own a business and you're like, I work for someone, and you're like, I still want to get out of the rat race, then it's reduce the distractions and the crap in your life and start looking at, okay, so how would I not work for someone? What's my way out? Is there a way, and it comes down to working for yourself, is there a way so that I can make money on my own and reduce my expenses? And so for people who are employed, that's what I would look at. And for people who are self-employed, it's how do I reduce the amount of time and energy and distractions and waste in my business so that I can steer it towards the more valuable things that I want in life, which is going to get you out of the rat race. Because the rat race destroys everyone. It's just stress and anxiety and accumulating crap and destroying relationships because you don't put the time into them, and not putting the time into family and your health and your wellness and all these other things that are super, super important. So that's the next thing that I would say is, if you look at it in a basic summary, I would say reduce your expenses and look at how you can potentially start making money on your own. And so that kind of leads into, if I was, again, to give advice, it's find a side hustle, find something that you can do on the side, if you're employed, that is, to make money. And here's what I would look at is look at what you're good at, look at your strengths, look at the things that you like doing and see, can any of these things make me money? Maybe it's music or instruments, maybe you can be a teacher, maybe you can do instructional courses, whatever it is. Maybe you like carpentry, maybe you like painting, maybe you like art and you're good at it. Is there a way to turn that into something that you can make some money on, and it's in realms that you enjoy or that you're really, really good at? That's the keys here. It's not just like, I like this. It has to be combined with, what am I good at? And what do people say that I'm good at? And if you can combine those two things, then you're starting to get close to what you could do as a side business or a startup or something like that. So investigating that areas, and really what I did is I looked at it as like, okay, what am I good at? What do I not want to do? I don't want to run my own company anymore. So I literally shelved my company. And I was like, I just want to help other people do startups, because that's the fun part of doing business for me. I want to help them launch companies and with cool ideas. And so that's what I basically did, is just put myself out as like almost like a consultant, and I would get contracts and I would help people. And then I got into crowdfunding because that's a shorter way to do it. And so that brought me down a whole new exciting path, but it gave me a ton of freedom and really kept me still outside of the rat race, which is essentially working for someone, selling your time and working on their time frames and not your own, and not working on your own stuff and working for your own future. So that's what I started doing, and I got a chance to do that, to look around and go, okay, what do I really want to do with the rest of my time? And just being that consultant allowed me to have a lot of free time to help raise my son and do things that I really enjoyed on the side. And I also had to give up a certain amount of money to do that, but I was like, no, I want enjoyment. It's not about money. So I made that decision, and that's a decision that you may have to make or you may not have to make. But there's going to come a time where it's like money or health, wellness, relaxation, and a good life, and that could come down the road or it could come soon. Who really knows? The next thing I really did was I looked at the future that I wanted. And that came down to like, did I even want to live in Canada, which is where I'm from, and in the West where I moved to, because I thought there would be more sunshine, be milder temperatures, I'd be on the ocean and the mountains, it would be amazing. And I quite quickly realized that I hated it because it rained so much. It was ridiculous. We're talking like 6 to 9 months of the year. And I was like, I don't like this at all. And Vancouver, super expensive city, so many rich people coming in and out of there. I just did not like the culture at all. I did not like the people. I mean, I had a good group of friends and developed a good group of friends. But in general, I didn't like the culture at all. And I saw that the culture was still like pulling me into, oh, you got to buy a nicer car. Oh, you got to buy a bigger home. Oh, you got to get all the furniture. Oh, you got to do all this stuff. Oh, you got to be in the rat race and make all the money and do all the things. And everyone was too busy doing all the things to even enjoy their lives. And I was like, I don't like this culture at all. So I started thinking about, what I really wanted and where that looked like, where I could go with what I wanted. And I started sort of putting the feelers out. And the other thing I was doing was I was crafting my future. And so, and I worked hard at it. I worked hard at being a dad, and I worked hard at making a plan for the future as well, and building myself up so that there came to be a certain point where I could potentially leave. And so what happened was everything that I was doing with these shifts and this, what I wanted in my future, what my real values were, what I really wanted to be doing on a day-to-day basis, everything started to come together. And it was a struggle for a long time. But then, boom, all of a sudden, I got the opportunity to come down here to check out Baja, Mexico. And when I got here, I was like, this is it. This gives me all of the things that I wanted. And I knew it right away when I got here. And I was like, boom, I'm down, went home, packed up all my stuff, sold up all my stuff, and was down here starting the life that I had dreamed of and that I really, really wanted, that was less stress, more relaxation, more physical fitness, more time in nature, more time to hang around with my friends and my family and build a really, really good community, and all of the things that I really, really wanted. So if I could break that down into like 4 categories, that would be mindset shift into sort of, what am I being convinced that I want that is good for my life, but what do I really want? And seeing where our culture convinces us that money and the endless pursuit of things really distracts us. The next thing would be lowering my expenses, lowering the amount of time, and lowering the distractions so that I could, be able to shift into something that would be more stress-free, that would be more sort of fulfilling to me. And I didn't have the burden of all of these payments and all of these attachments so that I could easily shift into the life that I really, really wanted. The next thing is being entrepreneurial, finding a way to make money, because the reality is you got to make money, you got to pay for your stuff. So how can I work for myself? And then as part of that, working in things that I'm really, really good at, that are my strengths, and things that I like as well, the combination of those two. And then lastly, designing the life that I want, the future life that I want, and seeing how I can make that leap, and then putting it out there to everyone I know. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm looking to do, and working towards that, and then just letting life unfold as you do that. And there's going to be some struggle for sure, because to get a great life that you design, that you create, takes struggle. It's as simple as that. But once you get through and start to get better at that struggle, then things are going to open up much more quickly, and the rewards are just unbelievable. And you can get there, and it's going to be pretty damn fantastic. And there'll be struggles, but the struggles are offset by so much goodness when you get there that, it's almost unquantifiable, the quality that you get when you create your own life and when it has the things that you truly, truly appreciate. Mwah. So, hope that helps. Till next time.